Hey everybody, what's up? This is Charlie with Contemplating the Cosmos, and I'm here on a Sunday night, just trying to dump some information on you guys and spend a little time with my second family. I don't want to consider my job my second family. I know there's been that discussion while I'm at my work, and heck no, man, I'm not going to do that. I'm freaking here. This is my real passion, is to spend time and collab with you guys and just really get into the meat of things. And I didn't have a guest tonight, but I definitely want to get into the meat of something that is on my heart. Obviously, I kind of get the feeling that this stream is not going to be that exciting to people, considering that. Oh, hey, Hunter and Norman G, Matthew. Appreciate all you guys showing up. Yeah, so it's definitely not morning over here, but Hunter, I appreciate you wherever you're at. And Meteor Man, I actually, hey, how's it going, Jen? I really appreciate you stopping in. Meteor Man, I want to actually say real quick, I stopped in and looked at some of your stuff. I never really had a chance to look at your videos, and crazy, I can't believe that I haven't talked to you about the raw food diet. And I'm not saying raw food, I'm talking raw meat. So that's pretty amazing. And honestly, I haven't even considered that. I've had like a raw egg and orange juice before. That's the extent of it. But checking in from Gainesville, Florida. Sweet. I'm over in Idaho. I wanted to just quickly kind of give you guys heads up. I know 2020 was kind of a crappy year, and I was going to kind of go over some of the stuff that, kind of the highlights. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that because I know people are looking ahead and hopes for a better future or whatever. But honestly, I don't think that. Hey, Jen, I appreciate you again. And for anybody that isn't aware, she's somebody that I work with, and there's only a few people that put up with my shenanigans, my BS, when it comes to dumping a bunch of crazy, weird information on people. And it's not really crazy. The reality is, I guess us truthers are kind of the minority, in the sense that we are on a narrow road. And I hope that everybody. So I'm kind of multitasking with the chat here. So Meteor Man says raw meat is good at all stages and decompositions. Ew. I think I saw one where you're doing I didn't even watch the video, but I think I saw the maggot, blended maggots or something like that. Freaking gross. Yeah. So anyways, I would like to get into that more with you here later. Maybe I'll even have you on the show if you're interested in talking about it. But as for this particular show, I want to be able to kind of unpack some of the stuff. So 2020, obviously everybody knows, was kind of crazy. If you kind of go back just a little bit to, actually the end of 2019, you'll see that there was actually sickness going on in China, and I don't even want to use the trigger words necessarily. Everybody knows what the sickness was, and I think that there was a lot of things that really alluded to what was going to happen, or even okay. So I'm going to put this out there initially so that people are aware. Okay, let me just start from the beginning. This is probably going to be I forget exactly what the date was, but I had to cancel my StreamYard subscription. So I'm going to go back to the basics because we just don't have the extra spending cash or whatever to pay for $25 a month. Although it is nice to have the extra features or whatever. So I'm just giving you guys heads up on that. I don't necessarily ever ask for support, but I do often put little support links in there. If you guys are so led to support whatever I'm doing on my channel. And I felt weird even saying that, so I'm just going to move right along. By the way, cheers. I got my my little Pilsner glass of some IPA. I just thought it was just a little thing to set the mood. Anyways, you know, I wanted to really get into, you know, everybody knows that there was a lot of crazy stuff with this virus or whatever. And, you know, I was really an advocate for truth and making sure people got the information that they needed to get or whatever, so that, you know, everybody was aware of what was happening. I mean, you know, the crazy thing is I had like 12 videos deleted when I was basically reposting things, or, you know, some of the hardest hit, you know, lashes from YouTube were either the C-19 stuff or the child sex trafficking stuff, which is very unusual to me that they would. And they said it was like, you know, I guess cyberbullying or something like that, which is crazy. So, by the way, I'll try to keep up with the chat here and there, but I'll try to stay on topic too, because it can be distracting. But do you think Donald Trump will be the president? You know, the funny thing about that is I wanted to address that a little bit here as we get into 2021, because I feel like this really plays into it. And it's very interesting stuff. Donald Trump probably will not just be voted in by the House of Representatives or Congress or whoever it is, or the legislature, I guess. They will either vote him in, or he will somehow have a reason to, you know, expose the fraud for what it is. And then, and again, all that stuff could be just a big show or whatever. And, you know, I'm not necessarily advocating for Trump, but I do think that he would be a better option. Catholic commentator Tim Gordon calls C-19 the beer bug on YouTube. It's Corona time. Hey, I got the bug right now. I had it's not Corona by any means, but I definitely I like IPAs personally, but it's okay to have a beer once in a while. All right, just so you know. So anyways, so, you know, just really quick, wrapping up 2020. As everybody knows, I mean, it's been a crazy ride. I even got C-19 according to the positive test or whatever. And I took the test so that I can get 2 weeks off of work, because I felt pretty sick and I didn't have the time available to me. You know, it just so happens that everything's kind of set up in a way where if you have a positive, even if the PCR tests are legit or not, you know, if you get a positive test, whether you're asymptomatic or whatever, you would be quarantined. Or, you know, I for the longest time I wouldn't even let my phone update, because I didn't want anybody to see, or I'm sorry, I didn't want my phone to update with the tracking system, because obviously nobody wants to be tracked by the government. Now, again, I actually work for a company where we're kind of building up the infrastructure of, you know, satellites and, you know, the surveillance, in my opinion. There's a lot of stuff that's tied to that. And, you know, I think that our business is not going to go down as far as business flow anytime soon, because we're kind of in the crux of developing this mass surveillance and satellite systems and whatnot. Now, a lot of them are on balloons, mind you, which is, you know, beside the point. But it's interesting that I'm part of the development of balloon satellites. But anyways, but they basically want to build balloon satellites so that they can, you know, bring them out to Africa and rural areas. And, you know, the funny thing about having them develop the rural areas with, you know, satellites or surveillance, which, you know, I never really it's crazy to me that they're really just expanding out to areas that have never been something that we are has been a focus of ours. But now everything is spreading out and becoming a worldwide thing. And they're trying to, so this is going to kind of segue into the UN discussion, how the United Nations, they're trying to get everybody on board with the same agenda. Now, and we'll touch on that here in a second. But now, I've been working for a company where I have to wear a face mask. Now, I am a strong believer that if you are infected with this strain, granted, they actually have moved the goalpost and said that there's another strain coming out that's mutated strain. I mean, what are they calling it now? Like C20 or C21 now that we're in 21. I just think that it's, I mean, it's the never-ending, dodging the goal. I mean, the goalpost that just keeps moving out now. There's no way that it's ever going to be an achievable immunity or herd immunity. I feel like we will get there if we just kind of just let it take its course. But that's just my opinion. Now, I feel like if I got sick, or anybody that has gotten sick, which there's a lot of people that have, should have immunity and should be able to not wear a mask. I mean, I honestly feel like face masks are detrimental to health. I mean, I went back and watched the High Wire, where they did a kind of a compilation of the different shows that got them in trouble. They got banned from YouTube. They got banned from Facebook or something. They got banned from whatever. Now I see all their stuff on BitChute. And the crazy thing about, one of the things, what was he talking about? I'm kind of losing my train of thought. It's all the aluminum in my head. Apparently all the vaccines that I had as a kid, kind of broke the blood-brain barrier. Not to mention that freaking dementia runs in the family, or this beer is already setting in. So, anyways, what was I saying? So I'm still stuck on the dementia thing. Gosh, I'm freaking. How's everybody doing in the chat? I see that Hunter's here, Norman. Matt, oh yeah. So I don't know. Let's see if I can get my head on straight here and get back on topic. But so, well, I might have to get kind of moving on my little bullet points here. I kind of have mental bullet points going on, so I don't really remember everything in sequence. So I'll do my best to stay on track. My bullet points are kind of my little tabs here on my internet browser, because I have things kind of mapped out in a way that I wanted to discuss, but I didn't really get into this in my head as far as what I was going to discuss on 2020. Everybody knows what they went through. So, so herd immunity. I think that was something having to do with what I was talking about. So herd immunity. The face mask. I was watching the Del Big Tree episode that was showing that face masks basically have, when you wear it, you have this this little tester that kind of shows how much CO2 level you have while you're breathing. And the CO2 actually goes off the charts. And OSHA experts, I think there was somebody that was on there that was talking about how, OSHA says that if it's in toxic levels, that completely goes against OSHA regulations. And that's not talking about the oxygen deprivation that you have as well. So my lung capacity was already depleted when I was sick. So I took this pulse oximeter, and it read that I was like under 90% in my I think you're supposed to be at like 95, 96. So when I actually went back to work, my lungs were still not at 100%. So I actually felt like I was getting dizzy when I was wearing my mask. So it's obvious. And I have to wear a mask in order to stay working. And I know people have not recommended. They say, well, why don't you just like push back? And I've actually pushed back. I've talked to the highest level people at my location, which is just one branch of a huge corporation. And I don't want to, and that was before I got C-19. So anyways, I feel like people, need to understand that I have to take care of my family, and I don't have an option as far as a backup plan. I do have a side business and whatnot, but the jobs have been trickling in. So hey, Bo, what's up, man? Dude, I want to talk to you eventually. I've been thinking about calling you because I want to have you on here eventually, if that's all right with you. But anyways, so the face mask thing kind of reminds me of, back in, the 50s and 60s when these doctors were endorsing like Camel cigarettes. And I made a video about that where, doctors that, had a hard day at work, the best thing for them to do is take a small break and light up a Camel, because that is the thing that, all of the best doctors will endorse or whatever. I mean, the thing is they make it sound like, the general consensus is really the most important thing, and we need to listen to, whatever Anthony Fauci is saying, or listen to, I think Deborah Birx retired because, is that her name, Deborah Birx? She retired because people started calling them out on their hypocrisy on not wearing their mask in public and things like that, or they didn't social distance, or, there's a lot of people that are pushing back. Now it's easier to push back when you're kind of doing just your everyday, thing. And again, these are the topics that I was just kind of brushing on, so that, I don't want to just linger on this topic. Obviously, people have been dealing with it for the last 9 months or plus or minus, and it's still going. I mean, they're not going to slow down anytime soon. This is 2021, and they're still going, and there's no sign of it slowing down. They said it was going to be a dark winter. They said it was going to be a dark winter. So, I don't know how many people I heard say dark winter. They freaking, like, they coined the phrase, like the new normal. Like, everybody was saying the same thing. So this is where I kind of segue into 2021. Now, all my life when I was growing up, my dad was eccentric, and he was kind of a conspiracy nut. And obviously the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, because my dad and I'm a lot like my dad in that sense. And he would always talk about like the Illuminati and, the shadow government and whatever. There was all these things that he would bring up. And honestly, when I was like 17, 18, I thought my dad was kind of a nutcase. I'm like, really, Dad? I don't really want to even listen to you, because like everybody, they just have that knee jerk, I don't want to deal with you kind of attitude. And, so my dad actually brought up Agenda 21 quite a bit. And I remember, that I think they rolled out somewhere around 2000. Actually, in fact, let me do a screen share and I'll kind of just flip over here. Hold on a second. Let me look at the chat here before I do that. Got my channel back up. What happened to your channel, man? I didn't even realize you were gone. Unless there was another one that did you talk to me on from another channel? Because I actually remember seeing something true. Oh yeah, my dad. I intend to put more audiobooks up, but I just haven't really had the time lately. But I will. In fact, I'm probably going to make maybe 2 chapters at a time instead of just one, because honestly, they only take like 10, 15 minutes to get through. And I know a lot of people are, once you're starting to get into it, you're like, man, you're cutting it off here. It's like suspense, you know, like if you're getting into a series or something, you know, next season you'll find out what's going on or whatever. Now, yeah, so anti-COVID. Yeah, so anyways, you know, I know that this topic may not be that exciting to people. 2020. Okay, we're moving on from 2020 to 2021. Okay, so and for those that are here with me now, I'm about 21 minutes in. I'm going to try to wrap up after about an hour. So we're going to try to cover as much area as we can over the next 45 minutes, give or take, maybe 50 minutes. Okay, so so without further ado, I'm going to flip over to do a quick screen share. Let's do this one here. Do this one. See if I can just get this to go here. Yeah, maybe I can do it this way. Chrome tab. No. Yeah. I'm just realizing that there's different options here, and I don't even do it this way normally. Okay, so do share. Bam. And then okay, so with agenda 21. Okay, so actually I did this one right here. So agenda 21, well, I think this document came out in 1992. Agenda 21 is a comprehensive plan of action to be taken globally, nationally and locally by organizations of the United Nations system, governments and major groups in every area in which humans impact on the environment. Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration of Environment and Development and Statement of Principle and State Sustainable Management of Forests, where okay, blah blah blah. So you know, I think it says okay, was created in December 1992 to ensure effective follow-up of UNCED to monitor and report on implementation of the agreement of the local, national, regional, and international levels. It was agreed that a 5-year review of Earth Summit progress would be made in 1997 by the United Nations General Assembly meeting in person. Okay, so honestly, I'm telling you, there's a lot of information about this. So I downloaded the PDF. Now, let's see if I can, I kind of was brushing through this, and there is, how many, actually, I'm going to flip back to StreamYard real quick and see. Oh, I just want to make sure that everybody's able to see. Are you guys able to see my screen share? Let me know in the comments, because I want to make sure that, because I went back and looked at another thing that I did and found that the video didn't show up very well on my screen share. So if I sit here in the screen share for a while, hopefully there's no issues. So so these are kind of the bullet points of Agenda 21. United Nations Conference, 1992. I mean, again, when you look at like the Masons and the you know, their plan of action, you know, with you know, Pike and Mancini, or whatever the names of the people that kind of started the movement. I mean, they didn't start it, but they became like the figureheads for what they're trying to do. And you know, this is kind of the thing that is the work of their you know, people that they basically trained up and into that mindset. So so International Corporation to Accelerate Sustainable Development in Developing Countries and Related Domestic Policies. And keep in mind that a lot of these things are, you know, you got to remember that a lot of what has happened this year, it was supposed to propel us into this way of thinking. And they, you know, a lot of these guys have been saying this is the perfect opportunity to implement our world order. And this is the world order that they're talking about, okay? So combating poverty, yeah, this is not going to happen here soon. I have a belief that, and again, I try not to speculate too much, but I feel like the poverty thing is going to be a big deal. Changing consumption patterns. So basically, what would help them change consumption patterns other than depopulation? Demographic dynamics and sustainability. Let's see. Protecting and promoting human health conditions, really. Maybe that's the whole vaccine thing, right? Promoting sustainable human settlement development, integrating environment and development in decision making. Okay, these are just kind of the bullet points. Conservation and management of resources for development, protection of the atmosphere, global warming. Were they talking about global warming before 2000? Or is that a new thing? Now they're calling it, oh man. So they've been doing the weather modifications and things like that for years and years. And now they're, what are they calling it now? I don't remember right off the top of my head. So I'm checking back on the chat real quick here. Dang right, Jesus is King. All right. What's up, Joey? Or Aaron Rocha. No. Okay, so going back to this Agenda 21. And again, if you guys, let me know if you can see the screen share. I haven't seen anybody say in the comments that they can see the screen share. So let me know if there's any issues. If not, I guess it's not a big deal. I mean, you can still hear me talking, I guess. So yeah, they've been talking about protection of the atmosphere and integrated approach to planning and management of land resources, BLM. You know, they've been taking over all the land, combating deforestation, managing. You know, a lot of these things on the surface sound really nice and like they have it in our best interest. But again, these are kind of communist takeover type concepts. Managing fragile ecosystems, managing combating okay, yeah, I already talked about sustainable mountain development, promoting sustainable agriculture, conservation of, anyways, the list goes on. If you guys want to look at all the breakdown, really this breakdown I think is really talking about Agenda 21 as in the Agenda 2000, which is actually the 21st century. Now, I believe that, well, I've always believed that Agenda 21 was actually talking about the year 2021. But after doing a little more research, I came to find that I think they're more focused on the agenda for the century. Now, now that we're in to the year 2021, we've been hearing more about this, what was it? Transforming our world, the 2030 agenda for sustainable development. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about that real quick here. Now, the reason I want to talk about 2030 is because I believe that they have kind of a timeline that they are starting. They actually started it way back like in 92 when we were talking about Agenda 21. But now we have this goal for 2030 for sustainable development. Now, we're kind of learning about this together, guys. So I'm going to just tell you right now that I have not gone through all this information. So kind of bear with me as I'm kind of thumbing through a lot of this. So transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Now, I'll just read this preamble real quick. The agenda is a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity. It also seeks to strengthen universal peace and larger freedom. We recognize that, what does it say? Eradication, poverty in all its forms and dimensions, including extreme poverty, is the greatest global challenge and indispensable requirement for sustainable development. All countries and all stakeholders, actions and collaborative partnerships will implement this plan. We are resolved to free the human race from the tyranny of poverty and want and to heal and secure our planet. We are determined to take the bold and transformative steps which are urgently needed to shift the world on to a sustainable and resilient path. We embark on the collective journey. We pledge that no one will be left behind. So, at face value, a lot of people are like, oh, well, that sounds like they care about the direction that our world is going. But as you know, they kind of have this concept of the phoenix, where out of the ashes rises the new order. And they want to tear the system down so that they can rebuild it. And the best way to rebuild it is tearing it down, because then what are we going to do? We're going to try to reach out to the government for help. And, what better way to, pay our bills than to receive a stimulus from the government, right? When they're shutting our businesses down. So I'm going to come back to the chat for a second. Here, let's just, sorry, I hope I'm not boring you guys. Give me a second. Okay, so let me just talk to you guys for a second. All right, so Jen could see. All right, so, for anybody that wants to see the playback or is going to see the playback, a lot of this stuff, a lot of people haven't really thought about, but anybody that's willing to venture down this path, I'm hoping that people understand kind of the direction I'm going with this. So anyways, I don't see that there's people blowing up the chat, so I'm going to kind of flip back here. So I appreciate you guys. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so I kind of have a feeling that they kind of rolled this out on September 2015 with the thought in mind that they wanted to start moving it forward more rapidly. And they ended up, you could see that in 2000, how rapid this actually has shifted. Now, so now, obviously they're not going to have their agenda fulfilled in this year. They might, but I honestly believe that the 2030 agenda is the one that is the real thing that they're going to be focused on for the next 9 years. Now, a lot of people will look to the book of Revelation, and I think it's in Revelation 13. It says, and I stood up in the sea. Okay, so real quick, before I read this, I want to just tell you that, they talk about the mark of the beast or whatever. That's, I believe, let's see, the power to give the life unto the image of the beast. And the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast would be killed. And he caused all the small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on the right hand or their foreheads. And that no man buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name, or the name of the beast, or the number of its name. Just remember, a lot of this stuff is all symbolic. So the symbology of all this stuff could be in reference, like to receive a mark on the right hand of the forehead. I mean, that could represent anybody that's willing to do the work for the beast system, and that could just mean that we are using our hands and our heads to do the work of the beast. So now, again, I don't really know for sure, but I think that's my speculation. Here's wisdom. Let him who had the understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man, and the number is 666. So we got 666. Now, obviously, people are aware of the Microsoft patent that is talking about WO 2020-060606. Zero means nothing. So if you actually take the zeros out, it's going to be the same thing as 060606. So I just have a feeling that either they're so blatant that they're just looking to see who's paying attention, or this is an actual sign that gives revelation to the people that these things are going to happen. They're taking place as we speak. It's one or the other. I mean, I feel like people are, I don't know. I'll just go back to Daniel 7, because here's the thing. It talks about Daniel's dream of the four beasts. In the first year of Belshazzar's king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream, and vision passed through his mind as he was lying in bed. Now, Daniel said, in my vision at night, I looked, and there were before me were four winds of heaven churning up the great sea, four great beasts, each different from the others. Now, again, these are symbolic. And, the reason we know that a lot of Daniel is symbolic is because it says that it's symbolic. Because it says that I don't really understand the meaning. Like Daniel will say, I don't understand what this meaning of this is. And, he was actually talking to Gabriel in chapter 9, I believe. And the revelation was given to him. Now, the reason I'm bringing up Daniel is because he talks about the four great beasts. So the first beast was like a lion and had wings like the eagle. And I watched until the wings were torn off and it was lifted from the ground. And so it stood on 2 feet like a human being. And the mind of a human was given to it. Okay, so now I believe that a lot of this is talking about government systems, and I think it actually says it here. Let's see where it says. I'm just looking to see where it says that it's a government here. Oh, here, the interpretation of the dream. I, Daniel, was troubled in spirit, and the vision that passed through me in my mind disturbed me. I approached one of those standing there and asked him the meaning of this. I think it was talking about an angel previously. It says, so he told me and gave me the interpretation of the things. The four beasts, here, I'll just read this part because this is the thing that is really the crux of what it's saying. The four great beasts are the four kings that will rise up from the earth, but the holy people of the Most High will receive the kingdom and will possess it forever. Yes, forever and ever. Then I wanted to know the meaning of the four beasts, which was different from all the others and the most terrifying. Was the one with iron teeth and the bronze claws. The beast that crushes and devours the victims and trampled underfoot whatever was left. I also wanted to know about the 10 horns on its head. Now, just remember, this is Daniel chapter 7. So read through if you want more details about it. But the four beasts are the same exact thing as what you see in Revelation chapter 13. The only difference is it is a 7-headed beast with 10 horns. It's a single beast that talks about basically all these 4 beasts who are basically major kingdoms of that time. And over time, these kingdoms combined into what you call a world order. That's where people kind of get that concept of the NWO. So anyways, so yeah, contrast Daniel 7 with Revelation 13, and you'll see what I'm well, maybe I'll just read it real quick, because that way you can kind of get kind of a concept here. And the beast which I saw like unto a leopard, and his feet were the feet of a bear, and his mouth was like a lion, a dragon gave blah, blah. I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death. Man, some of this stuff is so deep, so it's hard to just kind of tear through this and not have a lot of context with it. If you're not familiar with it, a lot of my listeners may already be familiar. So let's see. I'm just kind of skipping through here. Anyways, it kind of goes on to say that this beast is what gives power. Let's see. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and I had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth in which them dwell to worship the first beast. Okay, well, I'm gonna skip the rest of this here, and I'm just gonna say that I believe that 7-headed beast with 10 horns is the new world order by the United Nations, right? This is the United Nation logo. So anyways, there's just a ton of information here, and I don't really have all the time to break it all down, but this is kind of where I'm at. I feel like 2030 is going to be where they ramp up to where they have that sustainability, I guess you could say. So I don't think that it's going to be. I think there's going to be a lot that's happening from now until then. So I'm going to go back to the chat here. I appreciate everybody hanging with me. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, Bo True is Brandon True. I feel like it's your alter ego. Thanks for, I've been told it represents a mindset, not a mark. Yes. So, anyways, for anybody that's still there, I appreciate, a thumbs up or whatever, if you want to get this information out to the world, so that YouTube will allow this video to be favorable in their algorithm, which I seriously doubt, because my channel is, borderline, like they probably don't like me. So anyways, I like talking about this topic, and I feel that a lot of people are aware that the world is kind of crumbling around us, and I don't like to be super negative about it. Oftentimes I'll be talking to my wife, and she'll say, "Gosh, you're always so negative, talking about the negative stuff," and it's like, I don't really want to be negative. I want to be aware of what's happening and not be afraid. I actually feel like I have more of a glass all the way full. This is what, what's his face here? Meteor Man. Yeah. Freaking Meteor Man. This guy's crazy. Anyways, I went to his channel and he has like a lot of crazy stuff. He eats raw meat and stuff like that. No, but I think he was saying something about the glass being all the way full, half of it being liquid and the other half being air. And you know, I don't know if that's a positive outlook on it, but the reality is I think that we need to have a positive outlook on things. And that's really the thing. You know, I think that we do have the power. You know, it does say in the Bible, the battle is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and the rulers. And honestly, I think that, you know, we are fighting a spiritual battle, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen here. Whatever is loose on earth will be loose in heaven. Whatever is loose in heaven, loose on earth. Yeah. Anyways, the point is we are, you know, fighting a spiritual battle. We'll see things happening around us on the physical field or realm. You know, it's plane, I guess you could say. And but we'll also know that these things are happening on a spiritual level. So I think that you know, if people have the mindset of positivity, I think that we are fighting against the spiritual negativity. I think that we're destroying the negativity with positivity. So I think that people should be, you know, having that mindset. So heck yeah. Adriana, how's it going? Hey, so anybody that's still in the chat, I just feel like that's kind of the gist of what I was saying. You know, be positive. I know a lot of this stuff is going to be crazy. And honestly, one of the questions that was asked kind of in the beginning here is, where is that at here? Let's see. What was it? This one. Says, do you think that Donald Trump will be the president through 2021 and beyond? You know, I think that he probably will be, not necessarily because whoever it is that votes him in or exposes the fraud. I don't necessarily think it's because of that. I don't know. I mean, I'm still on the fence on what's going to happen. But I still feel like it's a possibility that there's going to be martial law, or there's got to be something big. I think something big's going to happen. And I feel like it's going to happen around January 6th or sometime around that. And I could be wrong. I know I speculate about some stuff, and I try to avoid speculating, to be honest with you. Speculation can be a trap in some ways because, you know, obviously people, you know, it's good to follow patterns and look at reality for what it is. But sometimes when you start projecting speculation, it ends up making you look dumb sometimes. And Adriana probably thinks I'm dumb a little bit about like some of my cosmological perspective. But this all started when I pled the blood of Yeshua HaMashiach over America and the whole. Is this in reference to what you're talking about? I've been told it represents a mindset, not a mark. So yeah, I mean, I agree. Plead the blood of Jesus or Yeshua HaMashiach over America and the whole world. So anybody interested in unpacking some of this stuff with me, I'm actually willing to put a link in. Well, let's see if let's say stop sharing here. Oh, okay. So I'm going to put a link in the chat. And anybody that wants to pop in here with questions or whatever, all you got to do is click on the link and it'll take you to StreamYard. And StreamYard is really just the thing that gives us the presentation here. And it's easy. Just click on the link and it'll take you through to ask you if you want to share. You can do it from your smartphone or you can do it from your computer. And really, if you just want to pop in here and just have a chat with me for a minute, we can stay on topic or we can talk about something else if you want. But if anybody has questions about this Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030, you can bring your questions. I mean, I'll bring on more than one person too, if you want. Let's see. We have the power. Trust me, as someone who worked personally with Satan himself, it's real. Why don't you come on, Bo? Come on. Let's talk for a minute, man. I don't know if you know how to do that. Just freaking click on the link right there. We'll do this one. This is my Facebook one. I don't know if it really matters. It's all the same. So yeah, this is my StreamYard link if anybody wants to pop in. Really, that's going to just make this a little more interesting, I think. Because sometimes I don't know if I am the most interesting person, but I definitely feel like I have a lot of insight that I like to share. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat too. So yeah, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030, it is all the freaking NWO. And I had mentioned something about Rowdy Piper. I think he did like a tweet or something. And he said that They Live is a documentary. It's not a movie. So basically they're trying to point out that, he was exposing the New World Order for what it was, or what it is, I guess. So I'm going to do a little intermission here and take a swig. So I hope everybody's doing well on a Sunday night. I got to freaking work tomorrow. So I have one beer. It's not a big deal, right? I like this beer. It's an IPA. It's I like the IPAs. I don't know why. Just something about them. A little bit of sweet, a little bit of bitter. But I don't know if anybody in here drinks or not, but I don't really drink very much. One beer. It's kind of the extent of my drinking. My body has been kind of still trying to bounce back from getting sick. It's crazy how I felt really sick for like, I don't know, almost 2 weeks, probably a week and a half ago. And I kind of got over it mostly. And then I ended up feeling well enough to go back to work. And while I was at work, I was wearing this face mask. And honestly, toward the end of the day, I started feeling dizzy. And I'm telling you, I feel like this face mask thing is detrimental to people's health. And I feel like even if it is protecting people, it's still creating a freaking face covering that literally collects all the bacteria, all the crap. And that crap is just going to linger on your face all day long. So even if I am healthy from this strain of C19, I feel like if I have this these antibodies or whatever, I feel like these antibodies are meaningless, so I can't like take off my mask at work. But I'm more susceptible or vulnerable to other illnesses that are collecting on the face mask, right? Everybody understands what I'm saying. I know it. I know you guys know what I'm saying. Now, other people might be like all excited about protecting other people, but here's the reality. I have antibodies. I freaking got sick from this so-called virus. Now, it is a legit virus in the sense, maybe not a virus, but it's a legit sickness. I freaking felt so sick. And it could have something to do with this freaking thing right here. My phone. It has the 5G thing going on. I tried to, keep it on Wi-Fi as often as I can, but maybe the 5G thing is what's making me feel sick. Who knows? it's crazy how my little 2-year-old son and my 2-month-old son didn't even get sick, and they always say that kids are more vulnerable to sicknesses, when they're little. Their immune systems aren't fully developed. And I was even talking to a friend of mine that has an autoimmune disorder. He says his immune system is absolute crap, and he has never gotten that sickness. So, anyways, Mr. Anderson. I don't know if that's what you're going for with your channel name. But yeah, I saw you show up on my last video. I appreciate you stopping in, man. It could be radiation. I have a feeling that might be the case. And, I don't know. Again, for anybody that wants to pop in and say hi, here's a link. Oh, Jesus is King. Jesus is King is coming on. Who's this? Oh, of course it's you.
Me.
I'm just kidding. What's up, man?
Not too much. I love what you're talking about, and I think you just hit the nail on the head, because you said, how crazy is it that your kids, your two boys, they didn't get sick, but you did. And
Yeah.
then as we know, Andrew Kaufman and Dr. Rashid Buttar are saying that the germ theory is a hoax. And why is it that you can get the virus, but then your kids won't get it if it's contagious by germs? And then remember the Bible, because we're all Christians, the Bible doesn't talk about catching colds and stuff like that. It talks about sin, right? And then you talked about 5G. I don't have 5G in my phone, but a lot of people who I know who have 5G, they've gotten, I don't know if it's the coronavirus, but they gotten like a flu and stuff like that too. And so we need to be really cautious, brother. Maybe you can switch from 5G to 4G or get a different phone, because it's worth looking into. And I wouldn't say, just like you, I don't like to speculate. Yeah, do that, brother.
Yeah, I can either keep it on Wi-Fi or I can put it on 4G. I think I've never tried it, but I actually looked into it because a lot of people were like freaking out about the 5G, and I saw a tutorial that was talking about it, saying how you can change the settings on your phone to do 4G. Whatever the case is, I mean, it is kind of weird that right after I got a new phone, I got sick. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but the weird thing is that it's funny. Like, I put this freaking thing in my pocket, and my leg, and I'm going to just say that anybody listening to this, maybe there's something to these EMF radiation emitting from your phone, and it literally is making my leg numb. Right. It feels like it has killed the nerve endings there, and I'm starting to think I need to put like one of those cover things that protect you from EMF radiation.
You definitely should.
People think it sounds crazy, but I mean, it only happens on my left leg, and my right leg doesn't have the problem because I don't put my phone there. So,
what a coincidence. Well, maybe you should do this just for fun. Put it on your left leg. See if your left leg gets it, and then you don't even have to worry. You'll know for sure that that's what it is. And the same thing with me. I don't carry my phone in my pocket anymore either, because the same thing happens to me. I get rashes and stuff like that. It goes through your pants.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it sounds a little bit crazy, but everybody's been talking about it for since they've been trying to roll out the 5G. And I mean, a lot of the experts have come out and actually said that they're just completely ignoring the radiation that is kind of gone up with this 5G technology. And
5G is extremely powerful. It's way more powerful than 3G or 4G. It's way more powerful than all of those. Have you ever heard of something called the Internet of Things, THINGS?
No.
Well, you can look into it when you get a chance, and so can your viewers. But basically, it cannot be able to be rolled out until 5G is completely rolled out. The reason why is it uses so much. It encompasses so many things. You're able to know the temperature of your house, remember your diary, all kinds of way more than we're able to do now because of 5G. It's so much more powerful. Yeah. And it works on such a low frequency wave. And you would think, oh, high frequency is more powerful. Actually, low frequency is that it's extremely powerful. And the fact that you just got this flu, whatever they want to call it, and you just got the 5G on your phone, I believe, brother, that's a sign from God.
It very well could be. And honestly, as long as people are paying attention to the patterns, and I think that might be a pattern. And I honestly, I got excited to use this phone because you see the camera, all the cameras on there or whatever. It has infrared light on it. It's one of those iPhone 12 Pros or whatever. It actually has the infrared on there that allows you to get good night vision on it. So you can actually take good photos and whatnot at night. And honestly, I don't really care so much about the photos. I care about like I think you're on your phone, it looks like. And I do videos on my phone every once in a while. And, I kind of drive in my truck and I just want to freaking video myself as I'm driving and ranting or whatever. And I feel like, dude, I'm going to have so much to rant about over the next several months. I have a feeling there's going to be some crazy stuff happening.
And like you said, January 6th, man, I agree with you. That's when I think that we might have a second civil war.
I saw your video. You were saying you're heading over there.
Yeah, I think we might have a second civil war, brother. I mean, I'm just speculating. Who knows? By the way, did you see my Mandela effect debunking Lion and the Lamb?
Didn't you get my comment?
I did, but I just wanted to make sure that you actually watched the video, because some people just go to the comment section.
I think I watched most of it.
Good. I love debunking the Mandela effect for the Bible, because you know what? It de-glorifies what God says in the Bible. This Mandela effect, like it's overriding what God actually can do. It's making a joke of the Bible basically, and that's why I'm actually so adamant about debunking the Mandela effect, because
so I had Brian Staley on a while back, and he had brought up the Lion and the Lamb thing to me, and I thought, I feel like I heard that in songs before.
It's in songs.
And it sticks in people's heads when they start, and it builds up like this whole traditional mindset of Christianity or whatever. It's not necessarily biblically based. It's more playing telephone or something, and people just get that concept from other people. They don't get it from the Bible itself. So
well, I mean, in 100 BC, the Dead Sea Scrolls say the wolf shall lie with the lamb. My video shows, like, I mean, from 100 BC, you know what I mean? And then not only that, but does it make sense that a lion shall lay with the lamb? Because they're talking opposites about their predators. A sheep or a lamb's predator is a wolf and a coyote. Yeah. And plus, sheep and lambs are not in the safari with the lions anyways. It doesn't make sense. And nobody says like a sheep in lion's clothing. You know what I mean? It's not even anywhere close. So I'm glad you watched it, and I'm glad you agree.
I agree with you on the Lion and the Lamb one. Now there are things that kind of throw me for a loop a little bit, like and again, I don't really care about the Berenstein Bears or whatever. I don't care about the Mr. Rogers theme. Who cares? I mean, there's certain little things where you could add one word and change it. I mean, how is that like something to I'm not going to die on that hill, so to speak. I feel like I feel like there's things that are interesting though, like such as like deja vu. I feel like the concept of deja vu, how you kind of have this little glimpse of something. It almost feels like you're observing reality from outside yourself in some ways, and you're anticipating what's going to happen. I don't know if you've had a deja vu before.
I have.
Yeah, and I've had dreams where I feel like I have a recollection of the dream while something's happening, and I feel like, oh, I dreamed about this. I dreamt about this. Like, I even remember the dream back when, I'll think about stuff like that, and it's like, a lot of people might say, oh, well, what does that prove? It doesn't prove like that things change in the matrix, so to speak. I feel like, but it is interesting to me that, and I think free will is how I believe. I believe everything is free will. Uh, but I also feel like, some of the interviews that I had, we talked about what this concept of the eternal now. They say that there is no time, so everything is coexisting with eternity, and we are just experiencing eternity through the lens of time, if that makes any sense.
It does make sense.
Yeah. So if anything changes, it doesn't necessarily changing over like a linear time, projection of time, how everything's laid out or something, or maybe we're experiencing one aspect of the multiverse or something. You know how people will say, oh, there's millions and billions of universes that kind of coexist with each other somehow, and sometimes they intermingle with each other and overlap. And I hear all that freaking crap is speculation.
That's fairy tale. It's unprovable. It's unprovable fairy tale. There's zero proof. There's not even one proof. Evolution is a theory, right? There's not one single proof of evolution, so we must throw it away. The multiverse, there's not one single proof of the multiverse, so we must throw it away. Just because it's a cool possibility and people can talk about it theoretically doesn't mean we should entertain it as a truth. We should actually throw it away, because there's a reality. There's one reality, and we all experience it, and that's all there is.
Yeah.
You may have a different way of experiencing reality, but there is one reality and one reality only.
Yeah. Hey, I have a question for you. So I was watching a thing.
Hey, can I? Okay, I got a question afterwards. I got a question for you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit, but I'll just say right now, I watched a little clip from Jason A. I don't know if you know who that is. He has a pretty big channel on YouTube, but he actually said something about Oahu Sightings. Did you hear anything about that?
No. Well, maybe I have. Refresh me. What are you talking about?
Well, just this week, I think that there was a bunch of sightings over in Oahu. They said that they saw this like blue light or something like that. Looked like a long pole type thing, and it was a UFO, and from what everybody was thinking it was. And then they saw it in the sky, just kind of moving down, and then it ended up dropping into the ocean. And then they saw another white light that was following it. So, anyways, it was in Oahu. I don't know.
We see stuff like that here sometimes.
Oh, is that just
it's right next door to me? And we see that kind of stuff here all the time. Yeah, brother, we see crazy stuff here, man. There's crazy stuff that goes on here on the islands. And just like you said, UFO doesn't mean it's an alien. It means it's...
Yeah, and obvious. I don't know if you know my take on aliens. I feel like they're interdimensional beings, and I think there are a lot. I think it's all deception, personally. And I mean, I don't think aliens really jives with Christianity. I don't think that Jesus died for. I don't think Jesus died for aliens necessarily.
No, there are no aliens. Yeah, I mean, there's unidentified flying objects. That doesn't mean there's aliens inside of them. We don't know what they are. We speculate because of movies. What I was going to talk to you about too, Brother Charlie, is you said you were having a beer, and so this is something that comes up in Christianity often. Some people say, "Oh, you can't drink if you're a Christian because it's in the Bible it says don't be a drunkard." Well, it says don't be a drunkard. It doesn't say don't drink. As a matter of fact, Jesus made wine for the wedding. So drinking is no problem whatsoever. You know what I mean? To any Christian out there that thinks it's bad. Hi, honey. I just found out my dinner's ready. I'm being summoned.
All right, man. Well,
choo-choo. You want to come tell me? Come tell me. What's that, Charlie?
I was saying maybe it's good timing because I didn't intend on this going too long. So anyways, maybe I'll just chat with these guys. If you want to get going, that's fine, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I got to get going. Love you guys. Thank you so much. The Mandela effect is fake, guys, and just in case anybody fell for it. And Jesus is king. And remember, guys, we know what the Bible says, and we believe what the Bible says. Follow what the Bible says. Most importantly, because It's your salvation that's the most important. So
And
be a steward. Don't watch pornography. Don't be a drunkard. Don't cheat on your spouse, and be a good person, and be humble, and give thanks for everything you have.
and don't follow the traditions of man, also known as Mandela effects.
Amen.
I'm not saying they're all like
Amen. Thank you. Mandela effect. Mandela effect is fake, guys, and it's a psyop. So take care, Charlie. God bless you, brother.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. So anybody, my take on Mandela effect, I don't really, what I know of it is there's changes that took place. There's almost kind of like it almost lends credence to the concept of, kind of this like God cloud concept, like we are all an extension of God, and anything that changes is more like people as a collaboration on the earth. We change things because we are God, and we shift everything as we progress forward. And I don't really know if there's nothing that I cling to on that concept, but I definitely feel like God did create us, and I don't really know the extent of our involvement in God, but I feel like we are people, and I think that we're unique in the sense that I think we stand out amongst the creation. So anyways, so let me check on the chat again. So Brandon True is actually Bo True. Yeah, masks don't work. Sign. God does put sickness on people. It's a sign from the devil. Let's see. Mr. Anderson. Vatican said it would baptize aliens. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. I have a guy that's a pretty avid Catholic, and he actually is against the Pope currently in office, and he actually is very adamant about his church being the correct church. So I'm gonna probably unpack some of that with him eventually, and we can kind of hash out the details, hopefully. Yeah, thanks, Joey. I appreciate you stopping in. If anybody else wants to stop in, I might have a few more minutes. Let me just share. Hold on a second, guys. Hold on. Click on the links here. Here, I'll just send an invite again here. If anybody else wants to jump in, you're welcome. Welcome to have a chat with me. Otherwise, no worries. If I don't have anybody jump on in the next 5 minutes, I'll probably call it a night. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Aloha, Mr. Anderson. Let's see. What up? Hell is a dimension. I've been there. Hey, Bo, I really wish that you could freaking come on. Oh, Mr. Anderson. Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Oh, I can hear you now. I'm good. How you doing?
Good.
Hey, there's been situations where I was listening to a live stream, and I'm like, they gave a link to pop in, and I'm like, do I want to get on? So I appreciate you stopping in, man. How you doing?
Yeah, no problem. Good. How you doing?
Good. Where are you from? I'm from Boise.
Sorry, I'm rocking, and it's gonna disorient people. My bad.
Oh, it's all right. I kind of attributed it to my my beer, but now I'm just kidding.
I'm from Sacramento area, but I'm in Northern Cali generally, but I'm over in Lake County right now.
What's your thoughts on Gavin Newsom?
Well, he's garbage. Obviously, he's one of the 4 main families that have kind of owned California for like 100 years.
Oh, really?
With the Browns and all them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm from Southern California. I grew up there, and I remember Gray Davis There was a governor named Gray Davis. I remember that name. I
Oh, yeah.
don't remember any of his politics. I just remember the name. I remember Governor Schwarzenegger.
Yep.
But that was the extent of me paying attention to politics over there. But yeah, now I'm in Boise, Idaho. Not
nice.
too far from you. I mean, I'm probably a 9-hour drive from you guys, I think.
I almost got my child's mom to move to Idaho about a year ago.
Your child's mom. Why? What are your thoughts about Boise, Idaho?
From what I can tell, it's starting to get tricked out like California, but as far as relative to the rest of Idaho,
yeah,
I don't know a lot. I haven't even been to Idaho yet, but
you know, since I've been here, it went from total right-wing conservative to now the area that I live in is mostly Californians that moved up here, and I'm one of them. I actually didn't feel like I had anything to do with the left agenda or anything like that. I actually was more right-wing when I was living in California. But again, I'm not like one of those guys that's like all about politics. I kind of think it's all a sham personally. But
yeah,
I mean, some of it might be legit. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to speculate on some of it. But I definitely like that, you know, honestly, I have like a feeling that something big's going to happen. And I think that they really want, I think the whole media thing is about getting people to focus on what's happening in the world. So it's all part of like dangling the, you know, the puppet strings or whatever. Yep. I think that's, you know, I was talking to somebody that was talking about, this is a really deep topic, and I don't really know what your background is on the spiritual side of things, but my channel, I talk a lot about that kind of stuff. And I try not to get too religious necessarily, but I definitely like to talk about almost like science-y and how that kind of contrasts with, you know, the spiritual side of things, I guess. Now, when you look at like paranormal and ghosts and things like that, that's almost like a physical manifestation of something that's spiritual, I guess you could say. And that's kind of
all the physical is, right?
Yeah, you know, I think
that's what all matter is, right? It's a manifestation of something from another realm. The realm we don't see.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're saying it that way, because I totally feel like everything here is just a manifestation. So a lot of people kind of get their minds stuck in this this kind of, you know, physical realm concept, and they can't really transcend that mindset. I almost look at it more like this whole spiritual thing really is the true reality, I guess, and we are just kind of the apparition, I guess you could say, that is the manifestation or the whatever. I mean, it's the fake world, I guess you could say. And you know, I talk a lot about near-death experiences. I've had interviews with people like that are famous that had near-death experiences, and I don't know if you ever looked into near-death experiences, but you know, I'm just
I have somewhat.
Do you have any? I mean, are you familiar with anybody that had a near-death experience, like Eben Alexander or something?
Not too much. I haven't. I mean, in the past, I've talked to people about that. It's just been a while, so I can't even remember.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, the bottom line is, I feel that venture that I've kind of gone down, trying to figure out the spiritual side of things, I've kind of come to realize that there's a bigger picture. And you know, that's one thing about like religion and spiritual, or you know, just religion in general. I feel like it's all just so one dimensional, I guess you could say. And you know, I think it's a much bigger picture. One of the guys that I met through near-death experiences is this guy. His name's Bo, but I think this is his other channel, Brandon True. But anyways, he says God doesn't pick or put sickness on people. Oh wait, what did he say here? He's catching up on the chat. I actually said something a while back. Anyways, but yeah, so he had a kind of a hell experience. This guy, Bo True, and
Intense.
yeah, in fact, I interviewed another guy that had a hell experience, and the weird thing, if you ever get a chance to go back, or even go to my Contemplating the Cosmos YouTube channel, because I talk a lot about like really touchy subjects on this channel, and I've gotten a strike recently, and I just kind of came out of my strike. I don't know, a month ago probably now. And I've kind of lightened up on some of the content that I've been talking about.
Yep.
I talk a lot about like C19 and kind of how it's like a new NWO takeover. And
Yep.
I don't
There's
really.
nothing wrong with using code words and having longevity to an extent.
Yeah.
There's a difference between cucking or whatever they call it and using code words for longevity. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean?
So when you say code words, are you saying like when I say NWO or C19?
Exactly. Because I know what you're talking about. Communication's communication. It's about getting around algorithms and robots.
Yeah. And we all know that if you have conversations on like Facebook or Twitter or any of these social media or, big tech companies, you're going to run into these issues where they're trying to fact check you and, get in, try to get really, it's modern day book burning. They're trying to freaking manipulate the system to freaking make sure that they implement their agenda and make sure that nobody hears. I mean, dude, some of the stuff that I freaking have researched for years and years and years, you can't find the information online anymore because they've really tweaked the algorithm to the point where you can't even do research. I mean, it brings up the, debunking videos and things like that. So.
Oh yeah, especially with the so-called bang bang events at educational places and whatnot. Those are very hard. Like when I researched that, like the one that happened, what was it, 2006 or so? Like, you know what I mean? Like what a beach would be with what was on Captain You-Know-Who and Peter Pan, blank, blank. That one the one that they drug Alex Jones into for a whole parade to pretend the families were suing him and all that. That one I did extensive research on when it first happened, but now it's very difficult if you're using especially YouTube or something to try to research something.
I'm trying to follow. So so you'd mentioned Alex Jones.
Yeah.
And what was it again that he was?
You remember the deposition recently, or not? Maybe it was a year ago or something. Now they did a deposition. The families of the victims of the children that supposedly died at a certain event, a bang bang event, at a school.
Oh,
the famous one.
Yeah, like
the families supposedly sued him, and that he had to do a deposition and all that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
In my opinion, that was a spell to make it look like that event was real. Because first he was talking about how it was fake and all that, and then they had him bow down and submit to it. It was like a buck breaking type of spell.
Interesting. It kind of reminds me of what do they call it? So the law, like as far as the law is concerned, we are entities of the state or the entities of we're corporations of the country or whatever. I mean, they have all these phrases or terminologies to
maritime legalese.
That, in fact, I want to talk about that in more depth. I've talked to several people that there's one guy in particular that knows a lot about it, and I actually I'm going to have him on the show one day. But he was I watched another video where this dude was like sitting in this courtroom saying, "I'm not part of your system. I'm a sovereign citizen," and he was like going off, and I'm thinking, first of all, he was like yelling at this freaking judge, and he was not willing to sit down or something. Like he was standing up, and the judge is like, "Sit down," or whatever. I forget exactly all the details, but there was just like this crazy interaction between this judge and this freaking guy. And, he ended up just standing his ground and saying that you have no authority over me. I'm a sovereign citizen. And he was like freaking out.
Yeah.
So this judge ended up freaking retreating into her chambers. She's like, I'm going to take a quick break and I'll come back. And then I guess there's something about that interaction where the judge leaves her seat,
Asking for a different jurisdiction and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she left her post, and she actually seceded to him, or he ended up winning the case, so to speak, because he ended up standing his ground, and the judge left her post. In other words, and then he left. He's like, we've won. So they just walked out and then never went back. And it's like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? What? I can't imagine how that's a legal exchange. But apparently there's something more vast about the legal system that we're just not aware of. And I feel
exactly
like
what it is.
I feel like there's something to this whole concept of consent. And I really want to expand on that a little bit, because really consent is the reason all these things happen is because we give power to these people. And, a lot of
almost
people,
like a natural law that they have to abide by.
Yeah. And our consent is what gives them the power to do what they're doing. And I'm really going to expand on this on probably another video, but I just kind of, want people to be aware that if you look back at basically everything that has been rolled out, it's been because of our consent. With like, say the two tallest buildings in New York, they had an airplane crash into them, which is another topic that
airplane.
That is heavily scrutinized. But anyways, when they where was I going with this? This is the aluminum in the brain.
The maritime law in the legalese.
It was about consent. It was
consent. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. When they were when all that crap was said and done, they're like, well, we need to pin this on somebody, and we think that we have found the weapons of destruction or whatever. So they're like, oh, and that's in Iraq, and we know that we have intel that shows that that's the case. And so now we went to war because of that, but they also rolled out the that law that allowed them to spy on us, right? Where the surveillance, and that's kind of what we're seeing now. More
and
so,
they invoked the P word to get people, the right wingers, on board with it.
Patriot. Yeah. So So this Patriot, I'll just say it, Patriot Act. Screw it.
Yeah.
Once they rolled out the Patriot Act, they needed the permission from the people before they ever did any of that, right? And
the energy of consent.
They told most of the people jumped right on board and said, yeah, let's go to war. Let's catch this guy that, crashed the airplanes or whatever. So I think that there's something to this, and I want people to be aware of that.
It's engineering consent.
Yeah. By the way, Mr. Anderson, is that kind of what you're going for? Or is that your
that's my real name too, and that's what people have always said to me wherever I go, whether it be a store or wherever, and I finally just embraced it. When I saw that movie in theaters when it came out, it was eerie because that's how this sounded, just like the principals when I'd be in trouble at school. Principals would be like, Mr. Anderson. So when I saw that movie, it was surreal.
Oh, dude, I love that movie, but in some ways, I feel like it was. In some ways, I feel like a movie was appealing to people like us, but at the same time, I think it was trying to, make us think that, this universalist, well, not universalist. What is it? Like, so
You mean
Neo,
the hologram type of thing?
well, not just that, but like it's kind of like the Mandela effect ties into it. And then I'm trying to think, like Neo was the savior, but in some ways, I
He
think
was actually the Antichrist in that movie, and it was a spell to make you side with the Antichrist.
That is kind of where I was going with it, is they were trying to take our eyes off of, and again, I'm trying to play with this mindset, but I don't really know exactly where I'm going with it. But I kind of feel like he was really the distraction that took our eyes off of God, so to speak. And I don't really know what God is in that movie, or like the true God. But you know, I don't know, whatever.
That very last speech he does at the end, he's talking to God as the Antichrist.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My boy Austin does a good breakdown on it. He did a good spell breaking on that movie.
Yeah, that's one thing that I like to look at things in detail like that, but I'm not really good at doing breakdowns on movies and stuff. And I just want to say hi to my buddy Eric from Gypsy Road. He looks like he just stopped in here. System Crashers is here. Enoch is here. Sorry, I'm not really getting into the comments very much. Sorry, guys. I just want to say hi to everybody as they're coming in. So yeah, the Matrix is one of my favorite movies even still, because I feel like it really kind of opens your eyes to the things that are hidden, I guess, so to speak. And I really appreciate. I still haven't seen They Live. Have you ever seen that movie?
Of course, that's one of my favorites.
Are you serious? I was just mentioning this earlier, but Rowdy Piper, the guy that played the main character on that, I guess there was a tweet that he did when he was alive still, but he had said something about like that being not a movie but a documentary, and so I just.
There's a lot of parallels in that movie that are pretty accurate. Obviously, the alien thing is nonsense, unless you're talking about interdimensional beings or things of that nature. But the aliens in general can be a euphemism for other things. There's nepotism and all that kind of stuff in it. It's pretty accurate. And the whole scene where he's battling his best friend, trying to put the glasses on him, and they just get in this big fight for like 10 minutes. It's a metaphor for what it's like trying to put those glasses on people to try to get people to see. If they don't want it, they don't want it.
Very much so. I personally feel like there's a certain frequency, you might say, that allows people to look at information. Now, I feel like there's sometimes where people cannot see what you see. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you can literally be showing them something that's blatantly obvious, and they're even looking at what you're showing them, but they cannot see it. Like there's just like a veil that's in front of their eyes, and they can't even freaking interpret what you're saying. And in a lot of ways, I really try to break down the philosophy of interpretation on this channel a lot, because if you look at this is my eyes. I cannot see very well through my eyes, but I can see better when I have my glasses on. I kind of look at it like it's the lens that I look through in order to see clearly. I liken that to philosophy. I feel like sometimes you cannot see truth for what it is unless you have the correct lens on to understand it.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So
that brings me to a fundamental question, though, that I've always been on the fence about my whole life: is that is there just a certain amount of people who are meant to even have that lens, or is it possible for somebody who, quote unquote, wasn't supposed to have the lens to be woken up somehow by someone to care about enough or something like that? It seems almost as if people were born with the capability. It just seems that way. It's something I've always been on the fence about.
Yeah. Oh man, lots of. I don't know if you saw me turn my head a second ago, but my wife popped her head in. Sometimes I have to take the time that I can get sometimes to do these shows, and she was like, it's time. She gave me the evil eye. But anyways, man, dude, I really appreciate you coming on just to say hi or whatever and chat out some of the
no problem.
Some of the issues. Yeah. So before you go, I'm just gonna say hi to a couple people. So Eric and hold on. Oh, Becky's here. Sorry, I'm just I kind of do my little check-in with the chat every once in a while. So for anybody in the chat, I'm just gonna kind of wrap up the show here, and we have Mr. Anderson with us today, and he it seems like
I've done one video about Mandela effect. Just so you know, I've done one and only video about it. It's not my priority or anything.
So wait, is that the only video you have on your channel, or?
No.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that are on my subscription list that are way into the Mandela effect, and mainly because I talk about spirituality and a lot of that kind of stuff ties into Mandela effect. And I did have an interview with one of the biggest Mandela effect guys, Brian Stavely. He has a very large following. Talking to
Brian.
What's that?
I've talked to Brian. Brian's a good dude.
Brian Stavely? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a super cool guy. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll have him on again. But the bottom line is I don't actually I don't subscribe to the Mandela effect necessarily, but I think there's some things about it that I think are interesting. And maybe there's something to changing something changes in the matrix, you might say. And and I don't really know what that is. I liken it to that thing where in the Matrix when the cat was coming by and then there was a deja vu, and and they're like, oh, something changed in the Matrix or whatever. And so that's kind of how I look at it. Maybe again, I don't think that I'm that vested in it, I guess you could say, but I think it's interesting. And let's see. What
I'm in
the
the
heck,
same
man?
boat.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I'm in the same boat. I do a lot of my videos are on different topics, just occult topics, and I do some presentations. I also do some videos where I'm on the screen like this. But there's certain subjects that I'll dive into once and do a video on it, and then that's that. Like it's not something that's on my list of priorities to where I focus on. And that's one of them where I just did one and only video. The CV, I did one and only video back in March. And then the same thing with the 5G, I did one and only video.
Yeah, I try to talk about these topics. In fact, I've been kind of slowing down a lot lately because we have a newborn that's 2 months old now, and he's kind of been a little more challenging for my my wife, and I think that has something to do with why she popped her head in here. But I'm probably going to have to wrap up here. Looks like Drink Water came in to say hi.
What's up, Drink Water? I'm Michael Lyon.
Yeah. Oh, you know this guy?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm going to have to go check out your channel. I'm always watching YouTube videos just so I can kind of sharpen my own concepts. And
yeah, I got a variety of stuff on there. The only thing I have on private right now is the origins of the LGBT agenda. I have that on private because they'll take my channel down quick.
Dude,
for that, but.
Trust me, I get it. That is like the most touchy topic you can definitely. I mean, if you start screwing with that topic, you better make sure that you're on board with the topic. So,
yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so.
But thank you for bringing me on and stuff.
Yeah, man. Again, I appreciate everybody in the chat. It was a little slow going in the beginning, I think, because I was talking about the Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030. I kind of said that Agenda 21 was really in reference to Century 21. So, but at the same time, I speculate that Agenda 21 is actually talking about this year. And, because sometimes things are multi levels of understanding, or multi, you know what I'm saying? So I think that maybe this year is going to just be a continuation of, what we've been seeing the last, it really has been a ramping up. And I don't know what your perspective is, but I'm a Christian, and I feel like, the birth pains thing is a legitimate thing, because you start, I don't know if you have kids, but I definitely have seen where
3-year-old daughter.
Yeah. So, when your baby's mom was ramping up in her birth pains, you could see that, it went from like, the contractions that were spread out, and then they started getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And then bam, we're freaking giving birth. And I think that they're going to be giving birth to the NWO here freaking pretty soon. And
they'll probably ramp it up by 2030 and all that.
Yeah, I think that they're going to be giving birth in 2030. And I think that right now really is the point where, I think my water broke. You know what I'm saying? So
they're using sustainable development as that boat to usher in that NWO. Anything that talks about sustainability or sustainable development, that's Agenda 2030 right there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, I agree.
The whole save the environment and the Tikkun Olam concept of saving the world and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff's all tied into that for sure. Dude. Charging a tax on carbon because you're a human, and population control, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, sweet man, Mr. Anderson, you're the man. I appreciate you stopping in, and Joey, I appreciate you stopping in earlier. And this guy Gypsy Road, his name's Eric. He actually, he had me on his show a while back, and his show is like taking off. He has like freaking 7,000 or 8,000 subscribers now. That's freaking crazy.
Nice.
And so I just love this freaking tight knit community. So I hope you stick around. I'll go head over to your channel. I'll even post a link to your YouTube channel so that other
Thanks,
people.
Man, appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that other people.
And I'm open to criticism. If I'm wrong about something, people can comment, say whatever. I can deal with criticism, especially if it's constructive and not just trolls or whatever.
Oh yeah, people will troll you like, that's the one reliable thing with people. Anyway, anyways.
But yeah, thank you.
Oh my gosh, he's almost to 10,000 subs. What is wrong with you? It's because you guys are always screwing around on your show. You're not really talking about. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't know if you've ever been to Gypsy Road, but those guys are freaking crazy.
I've watched a couple episodes so far.
Yeah. Road. Dude, it's crazy how like this whole community is like everybody knows each other. So I think it's funny. But anyways, but yeah.
Well, you have a good night, man.
Yeah. Thanks again for stopping in, and maybe I'll see you here down the road. So.
Yep.
All right,
Thank you. Peace out, man.
Talk to you guys later. See you. Have a good night.